Hello, and welcome to another City Skylines 2 video on Povop City. Now today we have quite a couple of things to do, mainly including lowering demand, and honestly adding a little more connectivity to the city, because as we can see, there are a few issues here. So the main ones I would like to address is probably fixing this intersection right here. And I honestly think the best way to do this is going to be just by removing this roundabout and allowing a traffic light to do the job. Additionally, I do want to solve our problem of demand. We have quite a bit of office demand, which I'd love to take advantage of, and also quite a bit of medium density demand. The only problem with it being is unemployment, which would be solved with more offices. So I do definitely want to look towards an area to develop offices and a job hub, and maybe even a little bit of industrial. I honestly think an area like here would be a pretty decent spot, as it is in the center, and like I said, eventually when we build a highway over here and expand over here, it's still not going to be a ton out of the way. So I'm thinking this will eventually become sort of a center for business and trade. So I do think I'm just going to lay out some roads and we can go from there. It did take me quite some time, but we did get the basic road layout done, and I think that we've done a fairly good job at adding enough options for transit. Of course, on this main road, I did add a highway here just because there wasn't anything that was going to be built along it, and I figured it would help with traffic just a bit. Now, of course, I do have to still add the bike lanes and the bus lanes over here, depending on what I do, but actually, we can do that now. But before we can add bike lanes, we have unlocked the milestone 7, which is Busy Town, which gives us money, development points, and land tiles. And there we go. This should add a pretty large amount of connectivity, but something I am realizing is there is quite a bit of traffic over here. And I think the reason is because of this lane being too small, and I think that's actually because of the bus lanes rather. So I am actually going to get rid of them on this side. And hopefully that should free up some space for more people to pull in and cause less problems with the traffic light. Additionally, I think over here a roundabout would be very fitting. And luckily, we can add one without getting rid of any homes. Now what I would like to do is look towards adding offices over here, and probably businesses more over here. Now, as we can see, all of our office demand is gone. And I am also seeing again, traffic is still over here, but it is at least still flowing, which is pretty good. Additionally, I feel like this road is a little oversized, so I do think I am going to shrink it down. I think this is a much more appropriately sized road, as it is still sort of an offshoot over here. Now I think this is okay just because eventually I do want to see about winding a road up here, just to add a little more connectivity. And I think that I'd like to take this highway and sort of just bring it through and connect it over here. And there we go. This road should add a lot more connectivity, especially once we start developing over here, and of course add more roads connecting over there. Now, as we can see, people are already using it, and it should take some strain off of this road here. Now again, I think we should be able to re-add the roundabout here, as I hope it will still flow traffic a little better. And just to help with that, I am going to change the type of road here, just so it flows a little nicer and doesn't have to worry about pedestrians. And that is problem solved. Now again, I do want to look towards building some more homes, and I think we can look towards developing probably back here a little more, and then over here, and even maybe a little over here or over here. Now while moving this bus line, I did also notice there are a ton of people waiting at each stop. Now I do kind of think this will even out, as we did fix the traffic problem over here, but at the same time, we do have the max buses. So we aren't really going to see a solution for that, I don't think. But we will have to wait and see. But as we can see over here, I have added a few roads, and I'm going to continue to do so, and also add some homes and maybe a couple of businesses on them. Now I do want to look into buying this tile, or maybe even a couple, just so we can continue development over here. It is a decent amount of money, but it is money we have. And also I want to check if we have any loans, as we have quite a bit of money to pay them off. And there we go. That is a lot more of our road layout completed. Now I know we haven't done a ton of zoning or anything outstanding today, but this is important work and it is going to lay the foundation for more and more. Especially as I've said, over here we do have a highway that's going to go through and eventually lead to a pretty large development, probably one similar to the size of over here. Now with that said, I do think it is time to create districts, just so we can get some amount of information. And we can get even more because I've installed this mod, District Statistics. And it's pretty great, as you will see in a minute. Now with these districts created, we do need to get names for them, and I'm honestly not too sure what I would like to call them. So if you have any ideas for what to rename them to, let me know. But now what we can do is over here in this tag, click recalculate, and we will see we get a ton of information. Now, it doesn't really clearly say which district is which, but as you can see, Parker Meadows has a population of 7,800 people. So that would be this top district. As we can see, its population density is much higher even with farms, and its GDP is much higher, which is basically just how much it is worth. And its GDP per person is much higher, per kilometer is much higher, and its income is much higher. Its tax is higher, income tax is higher, its max amount of tax is higher. It has many more students, it is a much more attractive area, it uses more electricity, more water, and I'm not too sure what these two mean, so if you know, let me know. Nonetheless, it's pretty cool that we can find out that much information. So now what I want to do is look into zoning a little bit over there after I zone in a few more offices over here. Now I did finish zoning in a little bit more, and I also added this pedestrian path, which it did knock out a few buildings over here, but we can look into re-adding them in the future. What we can do now is, as I said before, look into zoning over here. And there we go. That is another area successfully zoned in. And I think it is pretty great. Now it isn't ideal, but I think it's the best we could do with this area and the roads we already had laid out. As we can see, there are slightly less traffic problems over here, but nonetheless they are still remaining. And I think if we fix these, I think that's something we'll have to look towards in the future though. I think we will be able to fix our problem with buses being completely full, as that will allow them to cycle much faster. Nonetheless though, I think we have gotten a fair amount done. I know we haven't zoned in a ton, made a ton of money, or increased population that drastically. But what we have done is added a ton more roads, quite a few businesses over here, and offices too. And also kind of just developed a lot over here, and really just laid out the foundation to continue growing the city. And I know we've been saying that a lot lately, but we really do have a lot to grow. Because again, once we get more connections, more people will be able to come here, and we will be able to have more industry and, of course, have jobs for that industry. Anyways, that's the end of this video, and I really want to thank you for watching through the whole thing. It really means a lot. In the meantime, if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and have yourself a great day.